In here, man. 5-star James. I don't care what stars they give you. You're 5-star. You've been a 5-star, which is much part good. Listen, man. University of Miami fans want to know one thing. Does University of Miami have a chance to get James Whitlock?
Definitely do have a chance.
Welcome to South Florida. Yeah. Welcome to South Florida. Welcome to South Florida. Welcome to South Florida.
When you on the field, is it pregame? Like, is it ever? Are you ever afraid? Do you ever feel fear, or do you ever feel pressure?
Nervous.
You ever feel pressure?
Not one bit.
None of that.
No.
Who's been your tough defender? Like who's guarded you the tough?
Yeah, who's the toughest person to play?
I don't see nobody.
I knew he was
Nobody.
He was gonna give it the damn hood.
That's what I'm for. I'm a playmaker. I love receiving. I love to catch the ball. I love to go over people's head.
Yeah.
So I just got to do what I do.
University of Miami, they land you, and then they land the number one. We call him football player, number one player in the nation, James Williams.
Yeah.
Both playing the same position, right? How do you envision that working? Are they telling you how that's gonna work, or?
Well, I feel like me and James two different safeties.
Uh huh.
And I'm more of the ball hogging safety. He's more of the rangy playing like you couldn't say like in the box, but like a striker position, strong safety.
Right.
And I'm more of the free safety. So I already know in practice that's gonna just build great competition. And when the game comes, it's gonna be easy.
That's what's
Because I
up.
know we go hand in hand because it's like we're the same person.
Right.
So he has like his strengths and weaknesses, and I have my strengths and weaknesses. And we're gonna he can feed off of me, learn how to, I guess, be more of the free safety, and then I can learn off of him, be more of like a closer to the box safety.
Right.
So I feel like we just gonna make each other better.
Yeah, James played free safety. He wanted to play free safety. He was big on that. But James don't never be back at free safety. James be close to the line, the linebacker sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
that's his.
That's just him
yeah.
helping his team win.
That's his chess. Yeah, that's it. That's him playing chess with the team. I told him, kid. I covered James since he was that big, bro. I've known him all his life.
I just feel like every time it's just man on man. If he wins the battle, then that goes to play. He doesn't break on the run, or if this person like doesn't take that step, or certain things. It just, I feel like you beat your man every play,
right.
You got the best chance to stop any team, or vice versa.
Yeah.
5-star. Lean loyalty. 6'12", 276 pounds.
Yeah. And like after that, I just started going crazy. Tackles after tackle.
Yeah, the first play was like a tackle for loss, like 6.
Yeah.
Dog, they didn't touch you, like.
Yeah, like they did.
Explain to me, though. Like, what is that about? Like, how do they not? You 6'5", 300 pounds.
I mean,
Is it something? Is it a swim move or something you do? Like, they don't see you? You're teleporting? What's going on?
I'm too fast for long.
They don't realize you that fast when the game starts. Like,
I'm gonna be the best player on the field. Like, I just gotta show the world. Like, I'm the true 50. I'm the next 56 up. The next. I'm gonna just go crazy this year. Like, show people like, wow, at 56. Like, show them like I want to take care of my mom. I want to put in a big house, stupid cars, big pool in the backyard. Put on for my brothers, my nieces and nephews, like coaches. I think all of them boys for like having me here at this like position that I'm in now, cause like it took hard work and dedication. Without all of them to guide me in the right path, I wouldn't be here today. So I think all of them for like helping me out. Like, yeah.
Let's go take 3 motherfucking things, and that's what?
I say, big time players step up in big game. All the criticize and all that, it's over, baby. Big time players step up in big game.
what's good, man? What's going on, man? Y'all let us know where y'all from in the comment section. See see if we can get 100 in here, man. Let's see if we can get 100 in here. Let us know what y'all from in the comment section, man. We're going to get this thing popping in a minute. We got Steve Kim coming on here with us, the Kane historian, our Kane historian, the Korean Michael Jordan. And I'll explain to y'all where we get the Korean Michael Jordan from. So let us know where y'all from in the comment section, man. Let's get this thing popping.
You know this, all in is all in. There's no in between. There's nothing. And that's what it's going to take from all of us. We're going to be surrounded by the best coaches, and it's time to go to work. Guys, we are Miami. We are the U. But the moment you put on that uniform and you play and you invest the world into that, it's different. It's different. We got to bring it in tight, and we got to bring it. Because when the U is on and the U brings it, there's nothing like it. Because everything is here. I believe I owe it to anyone that wears that U. Please know this, all in is all in. There's no in between. There's nothing. And that's
so we get this thing to 100, man. Y'all make sure y'all like, share.
We're going to be surrounded by the best coaches.
Back, man. We're going to bring
it's time to go to work. Guys, we are Miami. We are the U. But the moment you put on that uniform and you play and you invest the world into that, it's different. It's different. We got to bring it in tight, and we got to bring it. Because when the U is on and the U brings it, there's nothing like it. Because everything is here. I believe I owe it to anyone that wears that U.
Let me get 2 more thumbs up, man. We'll run that thing back one more time, man. Make sure you like, share. Try to get this thing to 100%. Make sure you like, share. If I can get 2 more thumbs up, we'll run that thing back one more time. You know y'all like getting fired up, man. You know that get y'all pumped, man. I love looking at Mario throw up the OU with the 2 thumbs up, man. We're gonna run the thing back one more time.
Please know this: all in is all in. There's no in between. There's nothing, and that's what it's going to take from all of us. We're going to be surrounded by the best coaches, and it's time to go to work, guys. We are Miami. We are the U. But the moment you put on that uniform and you play and you invest the world into that, it's different. It's different. We got to bring it in tight, and we got to bring it. Because when the U is on and the U brings it, there's nothing like it. Because everything is here. I believe I owe it to anyone that wears that U.
No time. Last time. Right.
Please know this: all in is all in. There's no in between. There's nothing, and that's what it's going to take from all of us. We're going to be surrounded by the best coaches, and it's time to go to work, guys. We are Miami. We are the U. But the moment you put on that uniform and you play and you invest the world into that, it's different. It's different. We got to bring it in tight, and we got to bring it. Because when the U is on and the U brings it, there's nothing like it. Because everything is here. I believe I owe it to anyone that wears that U.
Shout out to Miss Wilcox in the building, man. What's going on? We at 68. Listen, man, hit the like, share, man. Shout out to E1, man, with the IOD squads, man. Shout out. 786-405-9499. If y'all want to get down with IOD squad, 786-405-9499. And actually, I'm going to pin it right here in the comment. I'll pin it in the top of the comment section. If you look up in the comment section, it will be there. Invest or die. And for the people who don't know what invest or die is, man, that's what we talk about. We actually trade every day in there, man. We trade in there. We let you watch us trade. You can see the plays and you can just copy it. We make it kind of easy. You can copy what we do. We're not financial advisors or anything like that, but you can copy what we do. Ask questions. It's a community. We have other people in there showing their plays, their trades. They show you they win, they lost. And I think it gets you more comfortable with trying to trade. And we got to talk about NFTs, crypto, things of that nature. We're going to bring Forex. We want to bring Forex to the platform soon. For you guys who don't know what Forex is, actually, I'm in a trade right now. And I'm down $18. Guys don't know what Forex is. Y'all know what that is. Let me see. Forex. Down $18. Down $19. For you guys who don't know what that is. But yeah, we're going to add that to the platform, man. But yes, 786-405-9499. I'm going to pin that right at the top of the comment section. And you guys still going to text me and be like, what the link is again? And I do this every day. Every day. I'm going to bring my boy Rich in here, man. Rich, what's good?
Yo, what's going on, man?
I knew something was missing, man. I ain't have my headphones on, man. I knew something was missing, man. Heck going on, bro? What's up, man? Chilling.
Just chilling, man. Seems like a slow day. So fall camp is almost about to wrap up, right?
You said it's almost over. Yeah, I mean, it's slow day today. Yeah. It's this it's everybody's ready for football, bro. Everybody's ready to see a game. I'm sure even the players at this point are
Right.
tired of hitting the same guys. And it gets like this every year. So it's to be expected. Um, definitely to be expected. Let me see. We're gonna get in here and talk about Q3. We're gonna bring Steve Kim in here in a little bit, bro. Steve Kim gonna get in here with us. Steve Kim is a boxing expert, man, but out of California, he's a huge Kane historian. Like I call him historian because like he just knows everything, remembers everything, and everything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So I call him a historian. But you guys have seen him a lot on the spaces. William said he made 65,000 last year on just trading GBP, JPY. That's forex. Shout out to shout out to William.
That's
William,
what's
because
up.
usually when I mention forex, like nobody knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but it's the oldest trading, older than the stock market.
And it is. And GBP JPY is a trading pair. So
Right.
that's the British pound and the Japanese yen.
Right.
That's what's
That's
up.
how I started.
And
Yeah, that's how I started. I learned through a guy, Q Banks. I brought his course years ago, started studying. That's how I learned how to read a chart and realized that, holy crap, it's the same thing for stock market and Bitcoin. It's all the same. And I realized that I knew it all and just started studying more.
yeah.
And that's how I brought up ILD. What were you about to say, bro?
No. We on the same page.
Yeah, so we may add that to the platform soon. So yeah, man. See, Coach. Shout out to Coach Hayes. Coach Hayes, I guess he just finished his show. Looming in the comment section. I'm from Footballville, USA. Hands off to Coach Hayes, man.
That's
Talking to
what's
me
up.
on the drive back, bro. I was dead. I didn't get back home at 4 o'clock that morning, Rich, bro.
Yeah. You told me. I heard the story about you going the wrong way on the turnpike. Because I was wondering why you got home at 4. Because it's a 3-hour drive.
On the phone, Coach Hayes talking trash, taking pictures of Tesla charging stations and FPL charging stations. Bro, next to the Tesla charging stations were now FPL charging stations. And I'm like, listen, man, the writing is on the wall. And we just sit here and we watch the world change and we don't do anything about it, bro. Like, you got to invest in some of this stuff. It's right there in your face.
It is. And man, let me tell you, I am I'm with everybody else, right? So that skill set of learning how to trade, I forgot. I think it was William who put it up there, but when they said that they made 65K trading GBP and JPY,
right?
Let's go back. Let's go back and think about that. 65K trading one pair, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that do if you made $65,000 in a year investing?
Sitting at I just lost $27. Sitting in front of your computer, watching numbers go upside down. But that $27, yeah, I just lost $27. But after doubling, you know what I'm saying? After doubling what I started with.
Right. And William even given the game, he said that's he was doing that part-time, right?
Right.
With a minimum lot size of 1 lot. Huh.
Right.
That's like that means he did a minimal amount of work. So that's crazy. Because 65K, to put that into perspective, that's like the upper, that's above that. You make more. That's more money than 50% of people in the United States make in a year at
Is
their
it?
job. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
So listen, man, let's get into it. Let's get into it a little bit. With the practice today, shout out to the members, man. Another Caneville experience should be dropping early in the morning for the members. If you want to become a member, you just hit the join button. It's down there next to subscribe, or in the description. In the description, you can go in the description and become a member, and you can find it in there also. That Caneville experience should be dropping for the members. I think this will be Caneville experience number 8. It's a few in there with the members. Talk some recruiting in there. A couple kids. Well, actually, yeah, a couple kids. We got to talk to, visited Miami, and was elated about their visits. So that's in the member section, dog. You become a member, but if not, just hit the like button. It's free, and hit subscribe. It's free, and hit the alert bell. That's free. And if you want to become a member, like all these dudes you see with these badges and these tags and stuff, and want to get access to our member group meet where we talk all night long. Cal be running a night shift. That thing don't never stop, Rich, dog.
Nah, I don't think so.
Nah, man, you ain't never think you could just you think you could just talk about Canes 24/7. That thing don't ever
and analyze
never
the
stop.
same thing over and over again.
Right.
And I think some folks miss their calling, man. I think a lot of folks in there should be analysts.
A lot of people in life misses their calling because they're working at the Pepsi warehouse.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring we got Steve Kim in the back, man. We're gonna bring Steve in here. Steve, what's going on, bro?
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Good evening. Good evening, Rich. Good evening, Streeter.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Kim.
Hey, by the way, Streeter, so you went on the wrong way on the freeway a few times, so you went all Asian driver. I know the feeling. Welcome.
Listen, man, I got off the highway. I'm coming from the Jones Northwestern game. I get off the highway to get some coffee. Listen, I remember one time at a diner, I was putting cream in my coffee, and this old white guy stopped me. He was like, "What are you doing? You're fucking up the coffee." And ever since then, I drink the coffee black, because when you drink coffee black, it wakes you up.
Yeah.
So
hey, by the way,
I woke up.
Yeah, with the Google Maps now and MapQuest, I don't even know how I ever drove 10, 15 years ago. Honestly, like it used to be like you see the lamppost and you see the ice cream truck, take a right, then you see the Rite Aid, take a left, go straight for a while, and then you see Uncle Otis on the corner. That's where he is. I honestly, it's almost impossible to get lost now with the new technology. I'm surprised you actually went off the wrong off ramp a few times there.
It's because I'm talking to Hayes. Hayes is talking about something crazy we're always talking about, and I jumped on, and I just went to the wrong exit. I've done it at this gas station numerous times. This one gas station, because the exit is almost like you walk out the store and you forgot which way you came from. But listen, Google Maps and all these things that makes us smarter, right? I think because we had more focus. We had to focus on what we were doing. We don't have to focus on anything anymore. It's almost like we all got CNI dogs.
You're right. You about that.
Right. It seems as if these things, they help us, but are they just making us dumber and lazier?
Well, I think they're making us more programmed. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Like just think about it. I remember when I first got my cell phone, my first one was in 1999, and I felt as like I never would need it. Like, what do I need? I've lived my whole life without having a phone. And by 5 years later, when you lost your phone or you misplaced it, you felt as though you had lost your left arm and right leg. It is such an important part of your life now, especially if you're in the media, Streeter, like me and you are, because you can take pictures, you can take photos, you can record interviews. I mean, think about it. Where would we be without our phone for a couple of days? It would be a lost existence.
Is that good or bad?
Both. Both. Let's be honest.
Right. Rich, what you think? Is it good or bad, Rich?
It's both. Just like Kim said, because I had about 2 days ago the same thing. The same question was posed in terms of sales, because I'm in sales, and it was like, do you think with all these technology platforms we have, does it make sales harder or easier? And it was hard to answer it because I remember back in the day, like if you were trying to look up somebody's email that you couldn't find, you were like, well, what's the company's website? So I know that's has to be part of their email, and then you kind of guessed it, and you showed some ingenuity. Now it's like, well, I couldn't find their email on LinkedIn, so I don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, but it's that fine line, guys, between do you use the technology or does the technology use you? So that's why I think it is important, just for a period of time. It could be as little as 30 minutes. Just be away from your phone. Read a book. Read a magazine. Do yoga. Do something that where you're not actually like just looking at that screen over and over again, because it becomes that habit. It's almost like breathing. Just think about how many times throughout the day you just look at that screen when you're not actually using that phone to make a phone call. You'd be surprised how much of a reliance we have on it nowadays.
I'm the worst, bro. I'm gonna admit this. I drive. My functionality of driving is to look at my phone, and that's kind of how the senses of how I drive. I look at my phone, and everybody in the car is going crazy. But that's how I kind of drive. I kind of drive like I can look at my phone and know where everybody is, but when they throw me off, when they like pay attention, I don't want to pay attention. That kind of throws me off. Might sound crazy to y'all, but that's how I do it. Listen, Kim, Antonio Crawford. Is anybody gonna stop Antonio Crawford, bro?
Who's Antonio Crawford?
What is his name? The boxer Crawford.
Oh, Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford, yeah.
Well, look, he's an excellent fighter, one of the very best in the world. They're trying to work out that fight with Errol Spence. They want to have it in November. It is still not a done deal, from what I'm being told, but I still think they have another week or two to figure this out. Generally, for a major pay-per-view bout, they want to have 8 weeks to promote and market the event. So the dates that are being thrown around are November 12th and I believe maybe November 19th. So, look, I wouldn't start panicking until September 1st hit and the deal is not announced. Then I'd be a little bit worried about that. But, yeah, Terrence Crawford to me is no worse than one of the top 2 or 3 fighters in the world. And I know it's going to upset people. I think at 147, in my view, he beats Errol Spence.
Yeah. I don't think Errol Spence is the one to stop him. He is one of the best right now. I don't see anybody really stopping him right now. But I also thought that about Lomachenko for a minute. What's next for him?
All right, Lomachenko just got back. He had to serve his time kind of supporting the war efforts in Ukraine. He landed in the U.S. last week. He'll be fighting in late October. I believe the date was announced today by Top Rank, October 29th at the Small Theater at Madison Square Garden. He'll be having a tune-up fight. Now, what the deal is, guys, here's what they're trying to plan. I spoke to Bob Arum about this earlier today. If Devin Haney goes back to Australia and beats Kambosos, which I think he will in the rematch, October 15th, if Loma takes care of business 2 weeks later, Bob Arum's intentions are to make Lomachenko Haney for the first quarter of 2023.
Can Lomachenko fight with Haney?
Yes. Well, yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, look, he's no worse even now than the second or third best lightweight in the world. The question is, at that age, and he's had a lot of amateur fights, so there's a lot of miles on that odometer, is there a physical erosion? And again, he hasn't fought since December. People seem to forget, before the war in Ukraine broke out, there was a deal on the table where he was going to go to Australia to face Kambosos. And once he was made unavailable, that's when Devin Haney swooped in and got that 2-fight deal. So, look, I think he needs a tune-up, knock some of the rust off, and let's see how he looks. But yes, do I think that him and Haney's an excellent fight that he can win? Absolutely. But again, Haney is a master boxer and youth is on his side.
Yeah. And one last thing before we get into the Canes, man, I think Shakur Stevenson is big time, bro.
If you were to tell me, Steve, what's that young fighter under the age of 25 that's going to be on top of that pound-for-pound list for the next decade and may not lose, it would be Shakur. He has a lot of Pernell Whitaker in him. He is
I like him.
I mean, he can literally stand right in front of you and disappear. And he has an ability to make guys miss and just really make you uncomfortable without almost throwing a punch. And look, he's only had 16, 17 fights. He's won world titles at 126. He's unified at 130. And I believe that soon enough, he'll be terrorizing 135. He doesn't have great power, but he hits hard enough that he makes you think twice. Shakur has an unlimited future.
His next big fight will be against who? I forget the kid name that was on IMF.
You know the fight that I want to make? It's really too bad that boxing politics will probably get in the way, but it would be an unbelievable battle. It would be Newark against Baltimore, Shakur against Tank Davis. I would love to see that fight in a year and a half.
Tank Davis, right. I don't think Tank could fight with this kid. This kid is smooth. I don't. Yeah, but that's the fight I'm talking about. Right.
Yeah.
No, I like Shakur. And he's young. He does have some Pernell Whitaker in him. He looks natural when he does it. I can't talk boxing like you, but I know what my eyes see. and so listen. You wrote a piece on the wide receivers, right? I'm hearing, man, for some reason they're trying to start Frank Lasson. He's trying to get him out there. First, you, Rich. I'm gonna go to Rich. Then we can get into your piece. Any reason you think they would start your Clemson brethren, Rich, Frank Lasson? They would want to start Frank Lasson.
I mean, once again, we act like this is an anomaly, and it's really not. You got a guy who's been in the college system for a while, and one of the things that you got to look into if you're a coach is who's going to make me not lose my job. This is why Restrepo is so coveted. And once again, during the spring, I remember saying this about Restrepo. He's going to be a starter. And folks are like, well, Brashad's better. And that is true. Brashad's faster and is more of an athlete. However, the thing that you need, it's a balance. You need guys who know exactly what they need to do. And even if, let's say, a guy's going to catch the ball 70% of the time, at least you know that and he's predictable, as opposed to somebody who's going to be 50-50. But during that, when they do catch the ball, they're going to make dynamic things happen. But the problem is half the time they don't. So that's where I see Latson having a leg up, that maturity, and somebody that the coaches believe will know what to do when they get the ball in their hand and when they're in a game. Plus, he is fast for a big guy, so that's something that we saw during the spring. He's really fast for a big guy, and hopefully he's healthy, because he's never really been healthy at Clemson. And that way we could utilize him as well. So we'll see what happens.
He's not really having a great spring, bro. Like that's the wild part to me. Kim, you wrote something on the wide receivers. What was your article about? Talk to us.
Well, the bottom line is I think they're going to have to do this by committee. As for Latson, I think, I don't want to read too deep into it. I'm not at practice like you are or inside those meeting rooms, but I think that's alarming because, look, it's obvious with Latson, they want someone out there that could stretch the defense and take the top off of it.
Right.
Latson has a really good speed size ratio. X is going to be the bread and butter inside the slot. I get the sense he's going to have 60-plus catches. Keyshawn Smith is a reliable guy. He's actually our leading returning receiver with 33 receptions last year. He had a pretty good year for a first-year starter. That third position, I wonder, though, Streeter, do you think that's an indictment on Romello, Brinson, and the situation with Jacoby George, who I hear that's going to be a 2-game suspension, are we now officially worried about the development of Romello if Latson is the guy that's wide receiver 1 in the first game? That's the question that I have.
I'm not worried yet. I see Romello at practice doing his thing. Sometimes it's the focus of the Jacoby Georges and the Romello Brinson off the field that some people question. Like I said, Jacoby George did what he did. He may be sitting out 2 games. Then now you're talking about trust factor with coaches. And you know college coaches in their trust.
Right.
It's like you're expendable. Listen, if I can't trust you, man, just go on back home. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's how they kind of feel. Go ahead.
Streeter, there's an old saying, availability is the best ability.
Right.
That'll never change. This is now a business, guys. You think football is a game, but college football is a business. But going back to my my article, I kind of looked back at Michigan last year. I just kind of looked at some of the stats. Last year, Ronnie Bell, not the guy from New Edition, but Ronnie Bell, their leading receiver, got hurt on a punt return in game 1. So Gaddis, I think, was already going to go run heavy, given the fact that's Harbaugh's team. But if you look at Michigan last year, their leading receiver, and I don't mean wide receiver, but the guy with the most amount of catches was 40. Okay, and they had 5 players between 38, or 4 other players with 38 and 22 catches. So in other words, they did it by committee. And I get the sense that if we don't have an Andre Johnson, if we don't have a Reggie Wayne or Lamar Thomas type, that every game, that guy's good for 6 to 8 touches and he's reliable. He's our go-to guy. You may have to do it by committee. And also looking at this roster, we have a really good tight end room. I think a fait accompli. We're going to see a lot of 12 and 13 personnel. We're going to get Arroyo the ball. We're going to get Mallory the ball, and we're probably going to create certain specific packages for Skinner out in space. So if you don't have that track team outside, there's more than one way to skin a cat. This is where Gaddis does have to get creative.
Right. You got something on that, Rich?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. The neat thing is we have a offensive coordinator who's used to using multiple skill sets within the passing game in order to get the job done. And one of the things I posed as a question very early on when we started this segment was, who's going to be our running back that has the most receiving yards this upcoming season? Because we're going to get the ball out to other personnel, whether it be running backs or tight ends. So, it's not just going to be looking for the guy because the guy would have emerged by now. It's more so going to be who's the team we're playing, what the matchup looks like on defense, and what can we scheme up in order to create separation and get guys open. So
Rich,
I think that's what it's really going to be about.
Rich, I think that's an easy answer for me. I think it's Rooster. Rooster, to me, look, I've said this for a while about him. He's the type of guy you have to get 15 to 20 touches, but that doesn't necessarily mean do what we did at Pitt last year when we got that kid battered. Oh, my God. I mean, he looked like Randall Tex Cobb against Larry Holmes after 15 rounds. I was like, come on, Lashley. Throwing a toss pitch, right? But where Rooster is really good, I think he's got really quick feet. And that Texas route that he ran against Florida State to put us up 28-20, that's a very easy route. We used to run that a lot for Najee Davenport when he was at fullback. But you run that type of play. You could run a swing route out into the flat. He could be an outlet receiver, and you get him into the screen game. Look, Henry Parrish to me is a slashing runner. Despite his size, he averaged 5 yards in the SEC. So he's a pretty effective inside runner inside the tackles. Thad Franklin's going to be the late game hammer when we need to move the chains. I think Rooster's that guy that we have to find creative ways to get the ball that just don't involve him getting a handoff. And he's got great wiggle and quick feet. So that's what I think. That's an easy question, Rich. I think when it comes to all the running backs we have right now that are available to catch the ball, it's Knighton.
I agree. I agree. And Rooster on a wheel route, oh my God.
Yeah.
I just, if you're 1-on-1 and you have to go up and tackle Rooster, you can forget about it. You can forget about it. So I think that's gonna, if you do that once or twice in a game, you're definitely gonna catch people off guard, and it's gonna be for a big play. So I certainly agree with that.
Hey, Streeter, this
What's
whole
that?
as I was preparing for this show, it got me thinking about our wide receiver room. And I know people have said for years we haven't had great receivers. I kind of disagree. In 2017, our wide receiver room was Braxton Berrios, Amon Richards, Stacy Coley, and Jeff Thomas. Outside of like Alabama and maybe Clemson at that stage, there weren't a lot of teams that would have traded for that. And you take any of those guys, I think 2016 was actually Coley's senior year. I would give a left pinky finger for a Stacy Coley right now.
Yeah.
He was so good. The only thing that ever stopped him was him tapping out on the helmet. We could never run no huddle because every time Stacy caught a pass, he'd tap out. But outside of that, he was a smooth route runner, caught the ball well, really productive. But, I mean, think about how good Jeff Thomas would have been in a real offense. He had, like, I still remember, Streeter, you did a video a couple years ago about how Jeff Thomas was uncoverable.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he had great top end speed, but his release was unbelievable, and his ability to come out of cuts and set defenders up. And he's one of the great what ifs, or one of the great, tragedies of recent football. But I mean, even a good Jeff Thomas with his head on straight, I would give a right thumb for that guy.
There's a classic Stacy Coley high school video out there, South Florida Express tryouts, and this is when they didn't have the sponsors or anything, and it was Duke Johnson. I'll pull it up maybe in the show. Duke Johnson, everybody was out there. Deion Bush, Duke Johnson, Jesus, the kid that went to Florida State. Stacy Coley comes out there in basketball shorts and basketball shoes. And nobody could guard him, dog. Nobody could guard him. And he didn't play 7-on-7 for South Florida Express, but just nobody could guard him. But he was such a hothead in high school. I got a video where he's playing against Pace, and he's about to fight the linebacker from the Indianapolis Colts. He's sending his own teammates out the game. And he got to University of Miami and just instantly shut up and matured. And it was the weirdest thing to me that he went 3 years, 4 years, however long he was there, without getting in trouble, and you didn't hear anything out of him. And every time I would see him, Rich, I would just walk up to him and be like, dog, I'm so proud of you, dog. He matured instantly. But no, man, that wide receiving core, like, that was unreal. Jeff Thomas should be in the league, but Jeff Thomas is his own worst enemy. Like, even with the USFL or whatever, the league that it just had just now, he was in it. And then eventually he checks out. Eventually he finds himself gone.
Streeter, Rich, did you ever watch that documentary on his high school team in East St. Louis, 89 Blocks?
Yeah.
It came out after a senior year, and I was really interested in watching it because I know that Jeff Thomas was like a late signee for that recruiting class, came out of nowhere. And I was wondering, like, wow, how did we get on him so late? Because I think Bama was on him first, and they said, nah. And when I saw that documentary, I said, oh, I get it. I can see why they don't want him. He literally quit the team halfway through. Yeah. Just disappeared. And the coach had a meeting with all the players. And I never actually seen this from any coach. He said, look, guys, I know you guys want a state title. We really can't win it without him. Personally, I want him on the team, but you guys are the players. If you want him back on, you can vote him back on. I don't even want to see the guy. I was like, damn. Right. But they let him back on, and they won a state title. So there is that.
Steve, how do you find time to watch all this stuff and study it? How do you find time to watch these programs, bro?
Well, no, if you DVR it, you save 30 minutes by clicking through the commercials. I mean, so we got to budget your time. But look, this is what I do. But I mean, look, there's two things in my life that I really care about with sports. Look, I played baseball my whole life. I'm bored of the game. You couldn't pay me to watch a game nowadays. Okay. Basketball, I don't really care about the NBA anymore. College basketball, I stopped watching 25 years ago. Wow. Boxing is my profession. Miami Hurricanes is my passion, specifically football. And So look, if 89 blocks had the wide receiver from Alabama or Clemson, I probably would not have watched it. But I try to be as an informed fan as possible. And look, this is fun for me. I'm lucky that I could do this for a living, and I have a lot of free time. So that's how I do it, Streeter.
No, listen, Jeff Thomas went to the Under Armour game. I didn't know who he was. I was on the sideline. I was out there. He won offensive MVP. And that's when I started coming back saying, hey, listen, we got a superhero coming to the University of Miami. That was the best way I could explain it, because at the Under Armour game, the offense gets abused by the defense. I'm surprised kids come out of there alive on the offensive side. Right. And he won the MVP. And that's when I realized that, I think, and after that, he came to the epic story I tell about the 7-on-7, him versus DJ Ivy. The video I have him versus DJ Ivy when he got punched in the face. That's when me and Andrew Ivan standing on the sideline watching him, and I was like, holy shit, I've never seen anybody take off like Jeff Thomas. DJ Ivy, go ahead.
I was at the 2018 opener in Dallas. I went to that game when we played LSU. Mm-hmm. I think Jeff had about 4 or 5 catches for over 100 yards. With a competent quarterback, he would have had 10 catches for 300. I'll just leave it at that.
Versus LSU defense. And who was the quarterback for LSU?
It was Joe Burrow, his first start.
It was Joe Burrow, yeah.
For 144 yards that game, basically. Looked very ordinary.
Right. Jeff Thomas was amazing. And you telling me he lined up with Amon Richards? And who else was it? Stacey Coley?
No. Coley graduated in 2016. So our 2017, it was Braxton, Amon Richards,
right,
and then Jeff Thomas and Chris Herndon. We have some real talent out there.
And I get you, if you look behind them, I bet you was some talent behind them too.
Yeah, and remember, Mark Walton got hurt in that Florida State game. They rolled up on his ankle and his knee. So what happened was Travis Homer became running back 1. He's in the NFL. And then there was a young man who actually began his career as a slot receiver at Miami, then became our running back later, was DJ Dallas. So this whole notion that Miami's had no talent, or that we haven't been good since 2004 or 5, I kind of disagree with that.
Yeah, DJ Dallas stays on my Instagram. He's a very down-to-earth guy, and we're realizing how good DJ Dallas really was.
Right. He's still in the league.
Oh, he's making plays. I've seen a couple of the preseason games. Him and Travis Homer, they're doing a very good job. Look, again, I don't know if they're going to start, but the fact that both of them can play special teams, and that's what people have to realize. If you're not going to be a starting running back, you could stick in the league and make some money if you have enough guts and versatility to play on the special teams. That's how you really stick around as a backup running back.
Right.
Yeah. And this is why I get so excited about what Mario's doing, Kim, because you just said Travis Homer and DJ Dallas, right? Nobody who thinks about running backs think about either one of those guys. I remember being out there with him and Frank Gore, and working out, and Frank Gore looked like a Greek god compared to him and Singletary. And this was Frank Gore 3-4 years ago. And he still looked like a Greek god compared to him and Singletary. And I think he got a kick out of being able to kind of outwork those guys, and them they were rookies going into the league. That's the type of talent we've had here and couldn't win. That's why I know what Mario is doing and what the program has did to change it. It was the final key. It's the final piece to the puzzle. You're talking about guys in the league taking other guys' spots, like Travis Homer and DJ Dallas. You would have never thought that, hey, man, Seattle backfield is Travis Homer and DJ Dallas.
Well, I remember when we recruited Travis Homer out of high school, I was kind of like, huh? Like, why are we getting this guy? I guess he's like a low 3-star. The one thing that he did is he displayed a lot of guts while at UM, and he's always played special teams while he was here, and he was reliable. He was somebody who wasn't going to get in trouble off the field, and someone who handled his business on the field. And the one thing that we always saw from him is that he wasn't a breakaway guy. He wasn't going to win any, 40, 50, 60-yard sprints to the end zone, but he knew what he had to do, knew his zone assignments and what gaps to go through, and was serviceable. So, I mean, it goes a long way. That goes a long way. Your work ethic, as well as having your head in the game, where people can trust the actions that you're going to take, and that's exactly
Right.
what we're talking about with once again with wide receivers. Like, if I'm a coach and whether or not I have a job next year is dependent upon whether you are going to catch the ball when I draw up a play for you. I mean, that's an important aspect of that coach player relationship.
Right. Of course it is. If you guys never watched it, this is our video, DJ Ivy versus Travis Hunter in high school, and you see how far DJ Ivy had to had to back off Jeff DJ Ivy had to back off Jeff Thomas. I thought this was an ad, but I forgot Sleeves used to be my sponsor. I thought that was a YouTube ad popping up. Man, I don't been here too long, Kim. I gotta do something else, bro. I forgot Sleeves used to be my sponsor. But this is Jeff Thomas in Miami 2 months before he came to the University of Miami, playing fucking 7-on-7. Earlier that day, he got punched in the face. If you look at it at his cheekbone, he had a scar on his cheekbone. He got punched in the face by Trinell Troutman, but he started it. Jeff Thomas wasn't nobody punk. He definitely started it, and they got frustrated because they couldn't guard him. But the weird part of it, we didn't know who he was, Rich. We thought they were from St. Cloud, Florida. They were from St. Louis. It was so many teams out there. And when it dawned on us that y'all are from St. Louis, that's who? Then it was evident. It was like, holy crap, dog, this guy's unguardable. Like they couldn't do anything. South Florida Express couldn't do anything with him but punch him in the face. That's it. Punch him in the face. They couldn't do anything with him. But this was him. This was him versus. He just had a horrible quarterback. Like, they just couldn't get him the ball. He just ran around. But DJ Ivy didn't back down. DJ Ivy stuck him the whole night. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Streeter, I had heard that from the very beginning, even as a freshman, when he first got on campus, that there was always reports that Jeff Thomas may just go back to St. Louis. Like, there was always something. And I still remember when Manning first got the job. Remember, Jeff got kicked off the team by Rick in 2018. I remember he played against Virginia Tech, where he had a punt return, was unbelievable for a touchdown. But obviously something happened. I guess him and Dugans couldn't get along, which was the whole wide receiver room, I heard. And so he got kicked off the team. And then Manny Diaz put it up to a vote of some of the players, some of the upperclassmen, like, do you want Jeff Thomas back? And it's a shame because I don't even think Jeff made it through the 2019 season. So he's just one of those guys that would have, should have, and could have been.
I think it's mental illness, bro. I'm nobody's doctor, right? But I think it's mental illness. I think the things that we hear, we tell the story the way we want to tell it. But to him, we would interview him, and you could tell that he was not there.
Yeah,
he wouldn't. He didn't smile. The first time I saw him smile was like 3 years into his career. I think it's when Mark. I think it was something had changed and the program was changing, and that was the first time I seen him smile. Maybe when Manny took over. But I think it's mental illness. I think he suffers. I think he suffers from something, and he's his own worst enemy. They say they would get on the bus, the plane, the way back, and they would lose, and he would be basically like, "Fuck it, I got off."
Man, he's like, in this video, he is crossing guys over like Allen Iverson or Tim Hardaway. I mean, look how smooth he is in his cuts. I mean, he was going to Illinois for about a week and a half. Remember, in the transfer portal. Lovie Smith thought he had him, and then we brought him back to Miami. But I mean, think about how the little things matter about intangibles, and I don't think young kids realize it. Look, Mike Harley is a solid athlete. He because of that extra year, he's atop of all the leading receiving records at the University of Miami because he got that super season because of COVID. I don't know if he's even one of the top 15 or 20 all-time Miami wide receivers because we've had some unbelievable talent. But you know what, guys? It looks like he's going to make the Browns squad. It looks like he's going to make some money playing football because he's a high-character guy. He's matured.
Right. Yeah. That's the talent we've had come through here. We just didn't develop it, bro. And I started getting really frustrated at the end before Manny was fired when it started dawning on me that we were letting kids down. And I've told the story before that the program was letting kids down. And I realized what the problem was, and then boom, they fixed the problem.
You know, yeah, go ahead.
So listen, we're gonna get on James Williams. We spoke to James Williams today, man, and I asked him a question. I should get that up here. And I asked him a question about TVD, man, and he got excited and started going on and on about TVD. I'm gonna bring it up here for you. I asked him, basically, James, you're a pretty cerebral player. When you look at TVD in his eyes back there, like, what do you see? Because in those interviews, those guys, they're training those guys really well not to talk. Listen, if you ask them anything about anybody, who stands out to you this, who stands out to you that, the whole wide receiver room stand out to me, man. Everybody's looking good. Everybody's over there working hard, and that's what they give you. But when I asked him about TVD, for some reason he lit up and he went on and on talking about TVD and how he helps keep him grounded and how TVD doesn't let anybody mess up. Let me see if I can pull it up here for you. But the question is, over under James Williams, will he have 3 interceptions? He had 2 last year. Rich, what you think? Over under, will James Williams have 3 interceptions?
I think over, not over by a lot. I think he has 4. I'll be surprised if he's in that 5 range, but I'm thinking around 4. And the reason is not because he's not able to have more than that. It's because you also got Vontae Williams and you have a ball hawk in
Cam Kitchens.
Cam Kitchens. Can't believe I drew a blank there, but Cam Kitchens is the ball hawk for all intents and purposes. So that's kind of his area of expertise. Vontae's a little bit faster than all of them, so he can kind of close in on or make up a lot of ground when covering receivers. So I think James is a great season for him is, kind of being all around when it comes to the stats, like having maybe 2 sacks, 3 interceptions, 3 or 4 interceptions, 40 to, I'd say 40 tackles or so. And the reason I say 40 is because I'm really looking forward to our linebackers and our tackles really getting off and not putting so much pressure on our secondary to make tackles, but 40 to 50 tackles, and really having that an all around game. Probably 5 or 6 pass breakups, stuff like that. So that's what you look for with, his play, in my opinion.
What you think, Kim?
I will say under, and this is not a knock on him. Like you said, Rich, I think we have other ball hawks, and I wouldn't get. And people say, how are we going to put all 3 on the field? Easy. It's called a jumbo nickel. Teams actually play it. Teams like Baylor actually played as a base. And there's a lot of positionless football going on defensively now. You better have defenders that could play 2nd and 3rd level in transition with the era of the spread. Guys like Tyreek Stevenson. He can play a little bit of jumbo, like a jumbo backer. He can play some safety. Al Blades is going to be that way. Gilbert Frierson. But if you go back to James Williams' best overall game, I thought it was UNC. And if you watch that game, he was really close to the box. I don't think he's a great, I don't know if I'd really trust him. I don't know if he has the overall burst to be a single high safety. When I look at Avonte, I look at a ball hawk with real twitch and explosion that could break on the ball like he did against Georgia Tech. Cam Kitchens, very cerebral. I get the sense he's going to beat a lot of quarterbacks just by being at the right place at the right time. I get the sense there's going to be a lot of sets where James Williams is going to be close to the line of scrimmage coming forward, a lot of run support, probably maybe a quarterback spy, because that has to be a big part of defense now. You can no longer leave that quarterback undefended in a lot of plays. So I think he's actually going to have a really, really good year. But again, I don't think his deployment will necessarily make it so that he's this ball hawk that'll have 5, 6, 7 INTs.
Right. So because James, I've seen James and love James to death, but we've seen him struggle when he has to come down and guard people out maybe out the backfield, or when he has to guard one-on-one. We've seen it in practice. We've seen him struggle, get frustrated, knock shit out of Rashard for
Streeter, if you go back to that Pitt game, and they always play that when they talk about James Williams, they always use that B-roll of him having that interception against Pitt, right, near the end zone. If you actually watch that play again, Addison is breaking clear. If Pickett throws that ball towards the pylon, it's an easy touchdown. That was terrible coverage and a worse throw. Let's just be honest about it.
Right. It happens though. It happens in football all the time. So James in high school, I remember Pat Surtain telling me that, man, we just let him roam around because he's so smart. He's so smart and he sees things. And this is Pat Surtain talking now. We ain't talking about some chopped liver high school coach. He said he sees things that the rest of the kids don't see, and he's trying to get them on board, and he's just thinking too fast, and they just don't see what he sees. So we just let him roam around. That's when you see him close to the line a lot, and he's doing what he want to do.
Right.
And I think it may be the same thing here, like you're saying, Kim. So Kim, you think Avonte would be a better?
That play Avonte made against Georgia Tech, where he climbed over a guy to get that interception. We have not seen that play at Miami a lot, and he plays with a certain explosion. And you could see the twitch in Avonte. And again, the way your defensive responsibilities will either lessen or heighten your ability to get interceptions. That's just kind of the way it is. I look at Avonte having better hips and being more sudden of an athlete than James Williams. I mean, James Williams is the most unique defensive player I've ever seen at Miami. I don't think I can ever recall a defensive player that I know of at his size playing on the back four. I mean, we've had a lot of great defensive backs. Have we ever had one 6'4"? Isn't he about 6'4"?
He's taller than that.
Yeah,
he's about 6'5".
In person, he looks 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, so I'm just kind of look. Unless you're Kyle Hamilton at Notre Dame, I haven't seen a lot of safeties over 6'3". I mean, the way he's built, it kind of reminds me of that situation with Alan Bailey. I remember Bailey was like a top 100 player. I think he came out of Georgia or something, and they promised him you could play linebacker. And I remember his first game. He looked like the biggest linebacker. I said, God, just move him to nose guard or tackle. And next year, he was a defensive tackle, and he played 8-9 years in the National Football League. Like, he just did not have the quickness to play linebacker. In today's modern football, with the spread, guys that are actually tweeners are valuable. There used to be a time 20 years ago, if you were a tweener, you had no shot at the next level. Now, if you're a tweener, they actually look at that as, oh, wait a minute, you can play the run and you can cover a little bit, and you're not slow, but you're not too big. That's actually valued at the next level in terms of spread football. So, again, James Williams, to me, I would not gauge his effectiveness on pass breakups or interceptions. I really wouldn't.
We're at practice today, waiting for everybody to come talk. And James was the first one that came and talked. And I look at my boy from Kings County, 305, the crib. And we're looking at James' back as they put the mic on to him. I say, dog, look how big James is.
Yeah.
He's going to look like the Reaper standing at safety. I need him to dismantle somebody at Bethune-Cookman and set the tone. I ain't gonna get kicked out of the game. Just set the tone for the season that, hey, listen, man, we have RoboCop standing in the middle of the field. Catch it if you want to. He may or may not be there. And I think that adds to see him back there standing there and the way he's going to look and pass. It's very imposing. Now I know you're not supposed to hit people like that, and football isn't played the way it was played back in the days. But it's still a contact sport.
It is. And the one thing I just want to address the comments. Like Cam Chancellor's 6'3", and he played that high safety. But you got to remember, Cam Chancellor was not known for his prowess when it comes to being around the ball like a honey badger. He wasn't known for that. He was known for taking your head off.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, Earl Thomas
that's
was
exactly
the ball hawk in the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
Really. So yeah, and so because I don't, it's funny, Rich. You think about I don't ever remember Cam Chancellor making a play on the ball, but I do see him. I saw him a lot of times intimidating guys. So there are different types of effectiveness for a safety.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Right. Hey, football is a gladiator sport. Rich, you finished, Rich? Go ahead. You want to finish your thought?
No, so I wanted to mention that, and I also wanted to mention, the difference between a DB or safety and a linebacker is the hips, right? The fluidity. If you're going to play DB, you've got to, most of the time you're going to be flipping your hips because the guy that you're guarding is going to be changing direction. At linebacker, your hips don't need to be as fluid because you're going sideline to sideline, or you're going basically shooting through upfield, basically. So it's a different position. That's why you could have a 6'4", 6'5" linebacker as long as they are fast enough to go sideline to sideline and shoot upfield. But it's really important. This is why it's just like a running back. If you take somebody like that who can play at 250 pounds, it's great when you need when it's 3rd and 1. However, when it's 3rd and 13, that may not be the best option running back to put in the game.
Yeah.
Not saying that he's not quick, not saying he's not fast, nothing like that. But if you put a rooster in the game who can catch out of the backfield, who you could, there's different plays that you can design for a rooster to get that 13 yards than you can for a Thad Franklin. So it's kind of the same thing with safety. So sometimes size does matter.
Rich, the greatest thing to happen to James Williams and maybe all our defensive players is Kevin Steele. I mean, they talked about getting a football education. I wrote an article on this last week about Kevin Steele's dissertation that he gave on Media Day. He basically said, look, my defense is very simple. You let me know what the quarterback does, what he's good at, and the personnel. That's my defense. And he said, look, I would not get too caught up on who's the starter. Yeah, there's going to be a certain guy that's going to be listed on the television screen or the scoreboard as the starter. But he said at certain positions, you may play the first possession or the first set of downs, and then you may get back out there by the 4th possession. So it's very clear to me. I've looked at some of the video clips, practice clips. Steele has put a great emphasis on being really close to James Williams. James Williams reminds me a lot of Isaiah Simmons at Clemson. And if you ever look at the snap counts of Isaiah Simmons, he played basically 5 different positions at a certain point in his career at Clemson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. He reminds me of Isaiah Simmons. And they utilize Isaiah Simmons perfectly because he did have that off interception every now and then. But it was what he did inside the box and how he was able to utilize his length and his size in order to make the field smaller for quarterbacks. So that I see James doing the same thing. So we got safeties, thank goodness, that are, have a high IQ in your Cam Kinchens and have very good hips and it's crazy athletic in Avonte Williams. So I mean, we got the best of all worlds, really.
We do. We got Big Earl in here, man. Big Earl's a football. He always comment on football, Footballville stuff in the comments. He says, "Can any of y'all play football? Most of y'all complaining like y'all played before. Get off James D." Big Earl, man, lay off the testosterone. Bro. It's too late for this, dog.
Right.
It's too late for this, Big Earl, bro. It's way too late for this, dog. Lay off the testosterone, man. Simmer down, bro. Simmer down. You know what I'm saying? Knew James since he was 9 years old. If anybody supports what we got it, dog. But it's too late for this, dog. It's too late, dog. Whatever it is, the colada, the cafe leche, whatever you own tonight, go argue with your baby mama, man. I ain't got time tonight, man. We in here vibing, bro. But no, man, we got
I'll tell you what.
Go, what's up?
And I'm that guy, right? I'm not saying I always want the smoke, but it is what it is. I'm in my mid to late 30s. I don't know how old Big Earl is, but hey, if we're ever at a game, let's have a foot race.
What? Rich, you fast?
Let's race.
You fast, Rich?
Well, I say that because people say that all the time. They're like, you didn't play this, that, or the other. Not to me, but I'm just saying in general, right? And I'm like, okay, we're talking about James Williams, who's going to be possibly a first-round draft pick, right? Well, what about us? We both armchair quarterbacks. let's see who get in the gym at least one time a week.
I think I know who Big Earl is. I think I know who Big Earl is, though, dog. Big Earl's a badass, bro. I think he's a coach.
Hey, all good.
I think I know who he is. But no, that's funny, Rich, man. That's a good one, dog. That's a good one. Herschel Bradley say, how do I get in the link group me page? I joined yesterday. I said, I'm just gonna make a video where I gotta just do the video, just come on and do the tutorial and show people how to do it. Basically, Herschel, if you join, when we put stuff in the member section, you get a separate alert with the football villains get. Kim is in there. Kim, I don't know if Kim ever got in the group me, but I know he's a member.
Look, I look like Fred Flintstone when the cat threw him out of the house. I'm knocking on the door, man. I'm like, well, man, I can't. When I'm in Miami next week, you're gonna have to get me in there. Do it manually.
Yeah. Most people's problem was they wasn't downloading the app first. That was the most people problem. You couldn't get in just by hitting the link. You had to download the app. It had to be on your phone. But no, I'll help you when you're down here, bro. I got you. But basically, man, in the member section, there's a link in the member section. Or just text us, bro. Y'all can always text us 786-405-9499. Y'all can always text us, and eventually we'll get back to you and help you out. But now, brother, James is exactly what you guys want to say. The reason you bring up Kevin Steele getting close to him is because you garner that trust with your leaders, right? And then you can get him to do anything. Basically, that's what it is. Hayes talks about it a lot. Yeah, on paper it says safety, right?
Right.
but if you look at the game, where are you standing and where are you playing?
Streeter, one moment that I saw last year that involved James Williams where I knew we needed a new coach. It was the Carolina game. Sam Howell just barely crosses the goal line. Williams hits him. I thought it was a relatively clean hit. And the whole Carolina offensive line is surrounding James Williams. And I'm thinking, okay, this is where the rest of your teammates got to come inside and we got to go Sharks and the Jets. We got to be like the Warriors and come out and play. The old Miami teams, if you effed with one guy, you're going to have 35 other guys coming off that sideline. What I saw disgusted me. I said, what a bunch of front-running frauds. If it was a real coach or a coordinator, I would have had this one, and I think they've actually done this before in other teams. I would have played that on the film room, and I would have said, hey, guys, every one of you guys that was on the field that did not go to take care of your teammate, come see me in the morning. You're running steps. I thought right there that was the Manny Diaz culture. That right there said it all to me, right there.
I want to ask him about that so bad in the press conference. You gotta give me a question where a way that I can ask him. I want to ask him about that so bad. Like, hey man, did you go back to your teammates and talk to
I need some help
that?
here, guys. Hey fellas, if you didn't know, I was surrounded by a lot of Tar Heels, and I don't mean James Worthy and Michael Jordan. Little hell. I mean, it's just come on. I've actually been. When I went to the games in the early 90s. I went to the San Diego State game in 1992 when Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock, actually went into the crowd at Jack Murphy Stadium. I mean, the brotherhood back then was strong. Because I actually went to the 1990 game. I saw two bench-clearing brawls against the Aztecs. And we had all for one for all mentality that if we were going to get into a fight, we were all going to get into a fight. What I saw last year was completely alarming. That was not Hurricane football.
It was weird. And no, that play was for any team. That was weird. That nobody came. I'm sure everybody isn't blind. You gotta know your guys. Man. I was a Marine. It's like one of our sayings when I was a Marine was, we don't leave one of us. You know what I'm saying? We're not leaving one of us.
Yeah, you don't leave nobody behind.
We take it. Leaving nobody behind. I mean, I don't know if it showed like the difference between the upperclassmen and the younger guys, but there definitely was a problem there. I don't think their nightmare's over, Kim. We don't.
Well, Streeter,
we don't have that problem anymore, though.
Guys, here's the thing that was worse. Some of our teams still had to go out for the extra point. Don't make it sound like they're all turning back to the sideline.
Right.
There's a PAT, fellas. They're having a group meeting, the offensive linemen around number 0 on our team. Can we get them out of that meeting? But again,
right.
that's Manny Diaz culture, Manny Diaz football.
Yeah, that nightmare is over, bro. They are definitely, even against the media to some state, it's definitely them. It's going to be them versus everybody, and they believe in what's going on down there at that program now. Yeah, those days are definitely over. I'm not even sure how it got there on a football field. I'm not even sure how it could get there. I can only imagine what was going on in those walls and how soft things was for a football team to get there. So listen, man, I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here. Kim, man, we totally appreciate you, man. You got anything you want to tell? Let the people know where they can find you at with your 50,000 Twitter followers, bro.
Okay, well, I'm at Steve Kim 323. That's my area code. I'm in LA. But next Wednesday, starting from Wednesday night on, Streeter, we got to make time to see each other, get together, do some stuff. I'm going to be in Miami all the way through Monday morning, so it's going to be football palooza. I felt it was my duty to be there for Mario's first game. I'm going to say this again. Let's get 50K plus for Miami's first game. Let's actually show people. Maybe we do have a new stadium that we'd actually fill it once. I think it would be shameful if we have less than 40,000 for Mario's first game. The man is sleeping 2 hours a night. Can we show up for his first game? Come on. And Bethune-Cookman has a good band on Told, so let's at least stick around the first half. That's all.
They do have a good band. That's funny when you say that. I get a John Ruiz tweet about the stadium. They put out that picture of the stadium. That's weird that you say that and that shit happened.
That's a nice picture, man. That looks nice. That looks nice.
It says 60,000. How many does Hard Rock hold?
I think closer to 70, don't they?
60,000 is a big.
That's what I was thinking.
Because there's no way they would let a Super Bowl be held in a small stadium, right, Rich? I mean, the NFL, they want as many tickets as they can scalp as possible. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're actually saying 60,000. 60,000 for this stadium that they put out.
Yeah, which is pretty reasonable. You know, look, Miami's like LA, guys, and this is what people don't understand unless you live in LA. They are a lot like USC. When USC has Reggie Bush, they have 85 to 100,000. When they have Clay Helton hanging on for his job, they had 30,000. And so there's a lot of similarities between LA and Miami in a sense. They're both metropolitan cities with a lot of pro sports and a lot of sunshine. This is not Tuscaloosa. It's not Happy Valley. It's not Columbus. So when USC's not winning, they have a lot of empty seats too. The only difference is they bought the Coliseum. That is actually their stadium now. They bought the lease. They bought the property. I'm kind of mixed, guys, on a stadium. I actually like Hard Rock a lot, what they've done with it, the new version of it. And I was at the 2017 Notre Dame game, Rich and Streeter. I remember in the middle of the game, just looking around, taking it all in. I said, you know what? If we could ever turn this thing around, this should be one of the great home field advantages in all of college football.
Yep. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. When I got a chance to sit down with Mario, I told him, listen, man, nobody's ever won in that stadium. And that's the problem with the stadium. Nobody's ever won. And when we thought we were winning, the stadium got crazy. Remember the kids saying, hey, man, when we came over that turnpike and we saw the stadium packed for the first time?
Yeah.
And they were like, holy shit, we got fans? Yeah. Win in that stadium, and now it turns into something else. And Mario looked at me, and Mario was like, like he never thought about it. Like it never really crossed his mind that yeah, we sucked for the last 15 years.
And the other thing is, Miami won 5 national titles in an on-campus stadium. It's not like the Orange Bowl was 2 minutes away from Ponce de Leon Boulevard in Coral Gables. That's the other thing people overlooked. The Orange Bowl was our home, and it was our exclusive home starting from 87 all the way to 2007, right? Because the Dolphins moved to Joe Robbie in 87, I believe. So again, Miami is not a college town. I think people have to take that into account. I actually think for the mediocre football Miami has really produced the last 15 years, I think the support's actually been pretty good given their area code.
Right. You said it's been pretty good?
I really believe that. I don't know what you really expect. I mean, look, every time I'm in Miami, I think, man, there's a lot to do out here. Really. And so if you're going to produce 7-5 football, it's not going to be like I went to Lincoln, Nebraska for the 2014 game. That was Brad Kaya's second or third start. Okay. And look, it's a very nice city. The people are very friendly, but literally there's not a lot to do out there, guys. And those 6 or 7 afternoons at Lincoln Stadium it's the biggest thing. Like literally, if you miss one of those games throughout the year, your year's probably not as fun. Really, just that one
game. Man.
Oh man,
look at fat me. That's when I was fat, dog.
Well, you slimmed down, Streeter.
But, yeah, I had to have surgery, bro. I was 300 pounds.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the sleeve surgery. I was 300. Yeah, I was 300 pounds. I was like, all right, screw this. My Marine days are over. Surgery time. But this was that night against Notre Dame, and I was walking in saying, listen, man, we beat Virginia Tech last week, but I don't know about tonight.
When Trajan Bandy housed that 6, it was electric. That was electric when Bandy just stepped in front and he's running down. That was surreal to just watch that.
Yeah. But this was the closest we had to winning in that stadium, and it definitely was a commodity. I remember the guy calling and said, listen, man, it's the loudest stadium I've been in a while.
Yeah.
Kirk Herbstreit said that night. Look at Rose. We got Rose. We won that game with Rozier, dog. You know that we were Rozier, dog. Like Rozier that was Travis Homer right there, right?
Yep.
So listen, Kim, man, you go ahead and get up out of here, man. We totally appreciate you, bro. All right.
Rich, have a great night. I'll see you guys next week, fellas. Appreciate it.
You the same, man.
Rich.
Yeah.
We get the thing packed. That's Manny Diaz's head right there. That's his son. That Manny Diaz head. Was that him or his son?
Nah, that's him. That's him.
That's him. That's him. I think it might be his son, dog.
Man, you know, we talk about this, and you say it all the time. I remember just the electricity around that game, and all of college football after that Notre Dame game was like, Miami is back, and it electrified all of college football, not just the Canes program and the Canes faithful. So, I could only imagine winning 10 or 11 games again. I mean, it would be the same thing. It'd be like pouring gasoline on a fire, right? We see what we're doing in recruiting already. It's already a destination city. If we can get fans in the stands and win games, I'm telling you, it'll be a wrap. It'll be a wrap. So we could be in the old stadium here, or if they build a new one. I don't think it makes much. Of course, you like new facilities. Everybody likes new shiny things, but I think it doesn't make much a difference unless we're winning and we are in wherever we're playing is getting packed out. We could go play it at Travis Powell, and as long as it's packed out and as long as we're winning, then it's going to be electric.
We had this is the kid right here that messed up his neck, huh?
What was his name? God, the
Damn,
DB.
yeah. Yeah. Man, I didn't really.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about this play. With Jaquan Johnson, man, we had some ballers out there. Shout out to Al Golden, though. We had some talent out there in that field.
Yep.
No, we win in this
Malik
stadium
Young.
now. All of a sudden, Malik Young. Yeah, all of a sudden it's a commodity. We win in this stadium. What Ruiz is trying to do, I don't know the business of it. I don't know how it benefits Miami. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get into that. And they're playing because 60,000. That means the stadium is just as big, right?
Yeah, I mean it's actually a little bit smaller than where we're playing now. So
Right.
there has to be a breaking reason as to why you would, especially a college game. To be honest,
Well, I think some people seem to think that it needs to be smaller. The same thing I said about the high school game at Camping World. Some people seem to think the stadium needs to be smaller for it to feel like a. But I just think we need to win. Shout out to Cajun. I just think we need to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna challenge that. I'm gonna say, what happens if, let's say, that stadium is 80,000 or 90,000? If you could fit that many in that stadium, I mean, do you think that we'd be able to get that many people? Every single home game getting 80 to 90,000 in Miami in a stadium?
No, the people don't remember that the Orange Bowl wasn't always crowded, and we were on top of college football. No, I don't think it's going to happen like that. I don't think it's going to happen like that unless Mario does what we talked about and he actually takes over the city of Miami with branding and he pushes the envelope that the Hurricanes is Miami's team. I don't see it happening to where it's always crowded. Just because of the city of Miami. Now I can see the games that matter, it being a party and it being lit, but I think they would have to push and brand to the point where Miami the city, look at fat me. Miami the city is embedded into everybody's mind. And I think that goes, and I think it's possible, but I think that's branding, I think that's marketing, I think that's you building this connection to the community and to the city that we haven't seen the Hurricanes do yet. That makes sense?
Yeah, I agree with you because, I mean, the state of Miami back in the day was Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. And for whatever reason, we got a bunch of different cultures down in Miami, a lot of cultures that are new to American football. So they're not really checking for football like that. So you really do have to expand your territory to the whole state. Folks in Central Florida, everywhere in the state, in order to have a stadium that can hold 80,000 people and you actually fill it up. So you're absolutely right about that type of branding, where, because I live in Orlando, and if you go inside of like a sports shop, you'll find University of Florida stuff, you'll find FSU stuff, but you won't find University of Miami gear in there. And I remember what's his name saying the same thing about Lakeland. Lance Leggett saying the same thing, where you would go to a shop that sells sports memorabilia, and you won't see Kane stuff, but you'll see Florida stuff or FSU stuff. So expanding that brand where it becomes the state of Florida becomes the state of Miami. I think you'll be able to get more fans in the stands.
Right. Kyle said you could use those extra tickets for the youth football teams and start basically recruiting early.
Absolutely.
That's something to think
that
about.
That could be our advantage. Yeah, that could be our advantage. About, bro.
I mean, maybe something can be created where you can just bring youth football teams from across the state.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe.
And just a lot tickets for them,
Yeah.
They have to figure out their own transportation and all that, but just a lot 25 tickets per team or whatever, and get them in the stands early. That way they have a love for. Because I gotta tell you, if you go to any like southern town, which is Orlando and upwards, right, or above Orlando and upwards, you go to places in Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama. The kids are indoctrinated when they're born. Ain't no such thing as growing up near Athens, Georgia, and not being a Georgia Bulldog.
Right.
So, and it's because they go to the games when they're 5 and 6 years old, and that's another thing. Down in Miami, you don't really you may have been playing Pop Warner since you were 3, but your first time going to a game may be when you started getting recruited at 16 years old.
Right.
So, it is what it is. So that would be dope.
Right. Yeah. No, that'll be. They go Travis Homer right there, huh?
Yep.
Travis Homer, that guy, dog. I don't know, bro. Like this running, I remember the coming in here, they offered us a line, and this running back was supposed to be good. Their running back was slow as crap.
Oh yeah, that big and that running back
Yeah,
he was about 6'3". He was really big running back,
it's hot, dog.
and
Some they had that
he was
team
running
hyped
out all
up,
over
bro.
everybody.
They had that team hyped up, but
Yeah.
whatever Mark Rick did to get this team, to get this team to this point and fired up for this game. It was the last time I think we stood up in a big game, right?
hmm
Other than, did we win our bowl game this year? West Virginia.
The year before, I think we that was that West Virginia game, right? The year before,
Yeah, that was the
or
year
was it
before.
that? Yeah, and that bowl game, we did win that one. That bowl game was a clear indicator of how good we were going to be that upcoming season. I mean, we were phenomenal in that bowl game.
I
So,
know.
I mean, yeah, that's I would say outside of in the modern era, outside of this Notre Dame game, that West Virginia bowl game was probably one of those statement games where you're like, man, it was a real important game, and you could really see Miami turning the corner.
Right. Right, listen, man,
But
786.
I
Go ahead.
remember what happened. Real quick, I'm
What?
just gonna say I remember what happened
You
after the
got it.
Notre Dame game. We struggled. We struggled like crazy. I think we had poor quarterback play after that game, and we just struggled. So it was getting to that finish line, having more gas in the tank, and that's what we needed at that time. And obviously, Mark Rick took his took a farewell bow like right in the middle of the season the next year, and we had to restart with Danny Miez.
Rozier.
So hey,
Caillou was the quarterback versus West Virginia?
that's a good
Or
question. I think so. I think so. Then he went to the league, and then Rozier stepped in. Because I remember Mark Rick that whole summer was like, Rozier will never play quarterback for me. So yeah,
That's crazy. So listen, man, 786-459-499. For the people asking how to join, the join button is right there. It's not going to say analytics because you're looking at my back room, but it'll say join, it'll say subscribe, and it'll say some crap, or you can go right over here, click the icon where the subscribers at, and you can join that way. Look at Fat Me. So we will be dropping the new Caneville experience, man, probably tomorrow morning or late the night, maybe 12 night. We'll put the link in the private the football villain group me. Let's get ready to get up out of here, man. If you want to get down with IOD Squad, just send us a text 786-459-499 or click the link is in the top of the comment section, bro. Anything else before you get out of here, Rich, man? Shout out to Cager, dog.
That's it, man. Just it's can't wait, man. And we got some more. We got big names in recruiting that could make this class very special. This first class for first full class for Mario. So hopefully we get some of those guys on the board. So just looking forward to the season.
Right. Can you guys see this mouse? Can you see that mouse moving?
No.
No? Man, all this time, I thought y'all could see this mouse. Y'all can't see this mouse, so I'm the only one over here who can see this mouse. All right, whatever, man. The join button is right there next to subscribe. You know what's cool about this video? This is my video. Like I shot this video and edited this video, bro. Like I can come in here and put up. Yeah, this is when it was just me holding the camera. I kind of did everything for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying the fact that ACC, it might be illegal or something. The ACC might not like it, but I'm showing my video from the sideline. I didn't pull this from anybody else. Is that just cool for me and everybody get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And it's still on YouTube. And it hasn't been taken down.
It hasn't been taken down. Right. So all right, man, y'all better than 2021. Coach Hayes told me I love footballville. Coach Hayes just did a whole hour show, man. He don't take a breather. He don't go sit in the cool room. He get right back on YouTube, huh?
Yep.
All right, man. Let's get up out of here, man. Rich, man, tomorrow, man. Let's get on the phone. I'll hit you later, all right?
All right, man.
Appreciate you, bro. All right, bro. Listen, man. Let's get up out of here, man. 786-459-9499. You got any questions? The guy who was trying to get into the group me, man, just send a text, man. We'll help you get in there. No problem. And like Taz said, hit the like button, man. We're trying to get 100% likes. Hit the like button. We're trying to get 100% likes on your way out of here. And hit subscribe and hit the alert bell so you get an alert. And if you want to join, it's 50% out to the first month. You can hit join. Because like $1.50 is 50% out, $2 or something to join because it's 50% out the first month. And YouTube is paying for that. I didn't even do that. YouTube saw our subscribers, our people in the member section pick it up, and they was like, "Oh, listen, man, football feel hot over here, man. Let's give them 50% off." So YouTube say they'll pay your first month. Come get in the member group me. That's in the member section, and man, come vibe with us, man. But man, don't put off tomorrow something you could do today. The rest of your life could be seconds away. I'm D.